Shh, just listen. You can tell if the build is good just by sound that it makes. As you can hear, this is really cool build. This is Berserker, using Incinerate, which chills and freezes enemies. I am using dual Tulfall wands. Combined with Romira's Banquet ring, I am able to gain power charges very easily, and each power charge gives me flat cold damage. Now, because this is Berserker, you get insane life and mana leech. Also, Vaal pact makes this leech instant. It has decent life and decent damage. Not the cheapest build, but the price mostly comes from quality gems. I am not a fan of Vaal pact, so this build is the scariest that I did. Scary because you can tank everything until you get one-shotted, and you never know when will you get one-shotted. So you can say it's quite intense build. For some reason, we still do not have any cold channeling skill, so I wanted to make this sort of fake cold channeling build. So let's look deeper into this build. I will put useful info in the video description. Now let's start from the beginning. Why Berserker? Well, because of insane life leech and aspect of carnage, gives 40% more damage. Start is a bit slow, because you only get damage mods at around level 15. After you get elemental damage and 2 jewel slots, it becomes a bit easier. If you start using Incinerate as early as possible, you must get quality Incinerate and jewels with projectile speed. It will greatly increase your Incinerate range. You can start using Tulborn wands from level 24, and with a bit of freeze, you should be able to keep power charges up all the time. But against bosses it is not very good, so you might want to wait for level 60 when you can equip Romira's Banquet ring. Then generating power charges will be very easy. I have made 2 passive skill trees. One is my current one and one alternative for level 93. Alternative passive skill tree has more damage and a bit more life, but level 93 is not very easily achieved. So if you are a newer player, maybe follow the main passive skill tree. I am not going to explain every passive skill tree decision, so just getting life, cast speed, elemental damage and jewel slots. And of course power charges and 1 frenzy charge. Bandit reward choice should be obvious, life and power charge. Links: Incinerate linked with controlled destruction, added cold damage, iron will, lesser multiple projectiles, and 6 slot is up to you. For a long time I was using Hypothermia, but I'm not sure if against bosses it is very useful, so I replaced it with faster projectiles. And all my gems are 20% quality, because I need all the damage I can get. In addition, I am using Herald of Ice linked with added cold damage, but added cold damage only affects explosion. For more damage I am using elemental weakness with cast when damage taken setup. For defenses I am using level 1 cast when damage taken linked with immortal coal and increased duration. Another higher level cast when damage taken linked with molten shell for increasing armor. Also arctic armor is very useful because you will be standing most of the time. For helmet I am using the Formless Inferno. This has become my favorite helmet, and I was lucky enough to get good enchantment from Uber Labyrinth. So Flame Golem gives me 50% increased damage. I am also using lightning traps with lesser multiple projectiles and increased duration. A very good jewel for this build is Izaro's Turmoil, increases fire and cold damage. By the way, the rest of my items are nothing special, just something with life and resistance. And if possible, try get dexterity on gears, so you don't need it from passive skill tree. Now the playstyle for this build is kind of suicidal and scary. As long as you can hit something and leech, then you should be fine. But if you get scared and try to run away, then you're probably gonna die. As you can see in this example. Or in this example when I got stunned and couldn't leech in time. And in this case I survived with only 217 life. I never really played Vaal pact before, so this is scary build. Oh, by the way, my DPS for this build is dynamic. And as always, every build can be improved in many different ways. Make some adjustments to suit your playstyle and go make some snowmen with a flamethrower. Oh, by the way, this build is probably Xbox viable, because I never really used more than 4 flasks, and most of the time I'm just standing and tanking. So that's about all. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. See you soon!